This is the homework for 258, 260, A and D, 261, and 262. In problem 258, for each expression, Matt, you need to simplify and determine which side is greater. So for A, I have a zero pair because a positive and a negative equals 0. If I have $1 and I spend $1, I'm left with $0. So this is a zero pair, zero pair, zero pair, zero pair, zero pair. So on the left side, I'm left with a positive 1. On the right side, in the negative or opposite region, I have a zero pair, but then I also have two negative tiles. So the opposite of a negative 1 is a positive 1. Opposite of a negative 1 is a positive 1. So I flip these tiles into the positive region. So now I have a zero pair here, a zero pair, and I'm left with positive 1, positive 2, positive 3. So the left side has 1, the right side has 3. So the left side is less than the right side, so the right side is greater. For B, I have a zero pair on the left side in the negative region. In the positive region, zero pair, and I'm left with negative 2. On the right side, in the negative region, I have a zero pair, and now I take the opposite of a positive 1, so I flip it into the positive region, and it becomes a negative. Here's a zero pair, and I have negative 1 and negative 1, which equals negative 2. So I have negative 2 on the left, negative 2 on the right, so they are equal to each other. For 260, I need to substitute to find y. So I have y equals 3 plus 8 and 5/10 multiplied by x. So when x equals negative 4, so I'm going to substitute x with negative 4. And I always put the substituted value in parentheses. So now I have y equals 3 plus 8 and 5/10 multiplied by negative 4. So we have to follow the order of operations, GEMDAS. Nothing to do within the grouping symbols, parentheses, no exponents. Now I have multiplication and division left to right. So I have my multiplication. So 8.5 multiplied by negative 4, a positive multiplied by a negative is a negative. So we get negative 34. 3 minus 34. Well, I know I only have 3 positives and 34 negatives. So I know my answer is going to be a negative. And so I take the sign of which one I have a greater. So I have 34 negatives. And then since the signs are opposite, I subtract them. 34 minus 3 is 31, and so it's negative 31. So y equals negative 31. Problem 60D, y plus 6 and 2/10 x equals negative 13 when x equals negative 4. So I'm going to substitute x with the value of negative 4. Again, I put it in parentheses. And so now follow order of operations. So I have 6 and 2/10 multiplied by negative 4, which gives me negative 24 and 8/10. Now I want to find the value of y, so I'm going to do inverse operations. So this is subtraction. Inverse property is subtraction, is addition. So I'm going to add 24 and 8/10 to both sides. This created a zero pair. So now I have y equals 11 and 8/10. One of Teddy's jobs at home is to pump gas for his family's sedan and truck. When he fills up the sedan with 12 gallons of gas, he notices that it costs him $50.28. So this is a proportional relationship. We have the cost of the gas and how many gallons of gas. So question A asks, how much does 1 gallon of cost? So when you're trying to find 1 gallon, that's the unit rate. So for 1 gallon. So we have cost over gallons, and we know that it costs him $50.28. So we have cost, and for that amount, he gets 12 gallons of gas. So cost over gallons. So since we're trying to find the unit rate, what it costs for 1 gallon, so we're going to set it equal to 1 gallon and find out how much that costs. So now we do cross multiplying. So we have 12 multiplied by x, which equals 12x, and 50 and 28/100 multiplied by 1 is 50 and 28/100. Now we have inverse property of multiplication, which is division. Created the giant 1. 1 multiplied by x is just x. And 50 and 28/100 divided by 12 is 4 and 19/100. So, now remember, x represents the cost for 1 gallon. So, 1 gallon of gas costs $4.19. For B, how much will it cost him to fill the truck up if he needs 25 gallons of gas? So we know that if 1 gallon costs $4.19, to find 25 gallons, we would just multiply 25 multiplied by $4.19. So here we have $4.19 multiplied by 25 gallons. So we have the cost of 1 gallon multiplied by 25 gallons equals $104.75. For C, when Teddy filled up the tank on his moped, it cost $5.03. How much gas did his moped need? Explain how you know. So again, this is a proportional relationship. We know that it cost $4.19 for 1 gallon. Well, he spent $5.03 and for his moped, and we want to know how many gallons he got. We don't know, so we use the variable x. Just like before, we cross multiply. 1 multiplied by $5.03 is $5.03. X multiplied by 4 and 19/100 is 4 and 19/100 x. Inverse property of multiplication is division. We divide both sides by 4 and 19/100, created the giant 1. So 1 multiplied by x is x. 5 and 3/100 divided by 4 and 19/100 is 1.2 or 1 and 2/10 gallons. Remember, x represents gallons. Problem 262. The graph shows distances traveled by car A and car B. For part A, which car is traveling faster? How can you tell? Well, the easiest way to tell from a graph is by the steepness of the line. The steeper the line is, the greater the rate of change. And I've said before, imagine this being a hill or a ski slope. The steeper it is, the faster you will go. So the steeper the line, the greater the rate of change. So you can see that car A and B traveled the same distance, but A traveled in half the time. It only took 2 hours, and B took 4 hours. So car A is traveling faster because its line is steeper. For B, find the coordinates of point A and point B. Point A, always do x on the x-axis first. So x is 2, comma, 120. 2, comma, 120. And B is 4, comma, 120. This is the x-axis, this is the y. X-axis, y. C, how fast did car A travel in miles per hour? How fast did car B travel? So car A traveled 60 miles per hour and car B traveled 30 miles per hour. The way you do that is you divide the distance by the time. So car A took 120 miles in 2 hours. 120 divided by 2 equals 60. B, 120 divided by 4 equals 30. So this is giving us the unit rate per hour, for 1 hour. For D, does the distance car A has traveled vary directly with time? Yes, because the car is traveling at a constant rate.